Hey, everybody, and welcome to a special Monday night team call. My name is Janelle Moss, and I am very excited to share with you and be part of a special night. We are going to share quite a bit of, recently we had Super Saturday, and our gathering that we had planned was canceled, unfortunately, due to the weather. And so we had some great speakers lined up, and we are excited to share the content of what we had planned for Super Saturday. So without further ado, I'm going to start with mine that I had prepared. I had been asked to speak on belief, and then we'll just kind of keep passing it from person to person so we can try to get finished in a timely manner tonight. So anyway, welcome and thanks for showing up. So like I said, my name is Janelle, and I am going to talk about belief. Now, I know if you've been with us in this business for any time at all, you've heard a lot about that you need belief in three things: in the company, in the products, and most importantly, in yourself. And so we have lots of resources available on those topics. So I chose to switch it up a little bit and speak about how to change your beliefs to change your life. Okay. So I want you to think about this. Do any of these statements sound familiar to you? I'm not blank enough. I'm too old for that. People don't treat me the same as so-and-so. I never reach the next rank because I'm too blank. These are examples of words that swirl in our heads and keep us from making our lives a little better or even following our dreams. So our subconscious mind has gathered the evidence and gotten us to believe that these are truths. We've seen the story played out over and over in our lives. So how could things be any other way? Well, the first step down the road of the other way is to realize that these are beliefs. And in this case, limiting beliefs. These are in no way absolute truths. Henry Ford said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It's interesting how truths have a way of changing over time as the evidence against them mounts. Do you remember when people were burned at the stake for believing that the world was round? The truth was that the world was flat. Or, not all that long ago, doctors insisted that smoking was good for us, or that low-fat, high-carb diets would somehow get us to a healthier place, while in actuality, this has led to the largest epidemic of diabetes and heart disease in history. So whatever we believe to be true only seems that way because our subconscious mind goes out of its way to find evidence to support ingrained beliefs. And at the same time, it actively avoids or tries to disprove any evidence to the contrary. So our beliefs are actually the lens through which we see the world. We interpret everything through those lenses. So think about this. If I told you that you were beautiful, you could A, agree if you think you are beautiful, or you could B, think I was crazy if you believe that you're ugly. But if I told you that your skin was purple, it's highly likely that you'd think I was crazy because you know your skin isn't purple, right? So in what areas of your life are your beliefs holding you back? Here are just a couple more examples. Financially, I'll never get ahead. Rich people get all the advantages. I'll never be out of debt. Relationships, I'm just not very lovable. I'm ugly, so no one will be attracted to me. There aren't any good ones left. And most marriages end in divorce anyway, so why even try? Physically, eating healthy just doesn't work for me. God just made me big boned. I can't do all that exercise. Eating healthy is way too much work. Emotionally, I just can't pay attention, or I'm moody. I just can't help it. God made me this way. Or mentally, I'm not smart enough to get ahead, and only smart people can do great things. And if you're too smart, people think you're a know-it-all anyway. So what is actually our payoff for clinging to these limiting beliefs? Is it easier to play the victim and say, well, I guess that's just the way it is? Your subconscious mind is the master ruler of your body. We may think we have a sharp, logical, conscious mind, and we might, but it's actually our subconscious that runs the show. Think about how hard it is to change an ingrained habit or seemingly perpetual thought process. Our conscious minds may think about making changes, but our subconscious, where the habits have been etched, will keep pulling us into the same deep rut. But it's not hopeless. We actually can change our beliefs. And when we change our beliefs, our thoughts will change, what will cause our actions to change. And different actions lead to different results. So at Super Saturday, I was going to have everybody pull out a pen and a paper for an exercise. So if you guys want to rewatch this later, you can do that, or take some notes now a minute. But I was going to go through some simple steps and a bit of homework. All right. So step number 1, choose the area of your life where you want to make a change. What would make the biggest impact of change in your life? Step 2, write down all of your beliefs in that area. Even think back to your childhood and what belief you picked up as a child from your parents, friends, teachers, and all those who had an impact in your formative years. What did you observe and hear repeatedly? Step 3, decide what core belief you want to change. But here's the catch, only choose one. Of all the beliefs you wrote down in step 2, which one would have the biggest impact of your life if you changed it to something more positive? 4, write down why it's so important for you to change this belief. Because until your reason to change is stronger than your reason to stay the same, it's absolutely fruitless to fool yourself into thinking you can change such strongly held beliefs. How has it damaged you in the past? And what's possible in your future if you do make that change? Remember, without a why that matters so deeply to you, any change is going to be short-lived. Step 5, argue with this belief. So this is kind of silly, but pretend that a friend holds this belief and you can't believe they could be so crazy as to believe this. Show them all the evidence to the contrary. Show them how damaging this belief has been. And whenever they defend their belief, come up with more reasons why it's false. Step 6, create a positive, new, and a more empowering belief. It will probably be the opposite of the belief you're trying to change. Step 7, visualize your life in detail. Very important, in detail, when you've changed your old belief into the new one, and feel those feelings. What is now possible for you? Now that you've taken down the old perceived walls, where will you go? And what do you see yourself doing? How do you feel now that you're living the life you previously thought impossible? Every day, as you wake up and as you go to sleep, and as often during the day as you can, repeat your new belief, preferably out loud, and feel the feelings you experienced in step 7. Feeling those new feelings on a regular basis is actually one of the most important aspects of this change process. Every day, at the end of the day, write down 1 to 3 things, large or small, that you will do the following day to disprove the old belief and reinforce the new belief and move you closer to the life you envisioned in your step 7. The next day, do what you wrote down the night before as soon as you can. Remember, action is incredibly powerful. And ideas, thoughts, and beliefs can swim around in your head, creating positive or negative reactions and feelings. Nothing will reinforce what you're capable of more powerfully than taking action. In taking regular action, we can change a long-held belief about ourselves. It helps to think about how many people we could help if we just kept taking consistent actions and moving forward. So, in conclusion, ask yourself these questions. What belief has been holding me back? Why is it important for me to change it? And what will be possible for me when I do? And with that, I'm going to pass it along to my sweet friend, Amanda. Take it away, Amanda.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Janelle. I've been with Plexus about 8 years now, and I am with Sue Yant. She is my mama in Plexus. We actually went to school together, kindergarten through 12th grade. A lot of you know that, so I know both Sue and Sal. But my story goes all the way back to when my husband and I were first married, and I came out of college having been on antibiotics for my whole 4 years of college. I was taking tetracycline for my skin way back then. Not knowing what long-term antibiotics can do to your gut. And when we first got married, I started getting really sick. Everything that I was eating was making me sick. I lost 30 pounds within 6 months, unexplained. I was just tired all the time, was having yeast infections, just lots of different health struggles that were all compiling. I went through 18 months of literally every test that they could think of to try to diagnose what was going on. I started with like x-rays, ultrasounds, CT scan, colonoscopy, laparoscopy, upper GI, lower GI, HIDA scan. They were checking for Crohn's, cancer, literally everything. And meanwhile, I was just getting more sick. And then the stress of not knowing what was going on was also like just really getting to us. And to say the least, it was not how we anticipated starting our first year of marriage. So there was that added on to it too, just that extra stress and disappointment. I finally, like during my laparoscopy, the doctor doing the exploratory surgery went and got a GI doctor from another floor because he said, I'm seeing all this white stuff all over her intestines, but I don't know what it is. And the GI doctor at the time didn't know either. And they both were kind of like, well, we can see what's going on, but we don't know what it is. And we don't know what to tell you to do. So I ended up at an alternative medicine clinic, both in Indianapolis area and also up in Grand Rapids. And they diagnosed me with 27 food sensitivities and severely imbalanced gut bacteria. I didn't really know then, but I connected it later that the white they were seeing all over my intestines was actually candida, but it was so not known back then. Like there was maybe a few books out about it, but that was even still when the internet was kind of new. So there's just not a lot out there. But someone handed me a book once and was like, I think you should read this because it sounds so much like you. And lo and behold, candida. But as I worked through with just some probiotics that they had available back then, did a severe food detox and diet for a long time and gradually reintroduced foods back, I really truly like got a lot of my health back. And I did great through having 4 kids. Body kind of went into super mode for a while. And then like 8 or 9 years ago, some of those symptoms started creeping back again. So that is when I was introduced to Plexus through Sue, and I've been on it ever since. And I absolutely love that I have a product that I feel really good about taking and feel good about recommending to other people that's keeping me in balance. And even as recent as a few weeks ago, got to share with just a young girl that's in high school and experiencing many of the same symptoms I had. And it just fires me up to be able to like give her hope and not watch somebody else go through what I've like went through in those first couple of years. So I love our products. And then a couple of years ago during COVID, when everybody was like, you know, thinking we were locked in forever and we just started eating all the fun things, my body got kind of out of whack again. and my skin flared up again. And that's when I discovered our skincare line and adding collagen into my routine, and it all got like straightened back out again within a month or two after struggling with it for a while. So that's just a whole nother area of Plexus products that I like hands down love and believe in. So that is my Plexus story for products, and a firm believer. Everyone in my family takes them, and I love recommending them to people. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to Elizabeth Hefner. Thanks, guys.
Oh my goodness. Amanda, you need to be on a Gut Health, Happiness, and Beyond live. And if we would have had Super Saturday happen, I would have been like, take my day, I'll trade you. Like somebody trade. So we'll look forward to that. So actually, you guys, I don't have tons and tons of stuff to say. One, I only have a 10-minute time limit this evening. That's not enough for me on a general basis, but definitely not when I have so much to say about our products and the like effects that they can have over time, all of that healing. So what I do want you to do is check out, I recorded a replacement Super Saturday video, and then I also did the Gut Health Live last Tuesday, and they're pretty similar. I mean, I don't remember exactly. They're pretty similar, but really went over some out of the box ideas for our products. Okay. So thinking like, we say reset for weight loss, reset for weight loss. Well, there's also so many other healing and amazing benefits of doing reset that it allows people to really have true healing. Okay. So check that video out. But what I want to remind you of, I'm going to go over some stuff really quick. Check that video out because I go into detail on out of the box ideas for our products. And that each product really has multiple benefits. So the way that Plexus has formulated this, it's so cool that our ProBio 5 isn't just a probiotic, but it's a 3-in-1 product, right? We get so much bang for our buck when we take Plexus that you just cannot find anything like it. Okay. Anything that says that they're like, oh, I take a probiotic. No, you don't. Not like ours. Okay. So keeping that in mind, that the way Plexus formulated, the way that we get multiple benefits, MetaBurn, it's a fat burner, but it's adrenal, thyroid, cortisol, brain support and health too. Okay. It's really good for anxiety because of the 5-HTP and that's in there. It's really good to just bring calmness. So even though it has some caffeine, it's actually such a clean and steady form of caffeine that it isn't this hyped up, like ramped up, crazy caffeine. You think of Active has helps our body produce nitric oxide. Nitric oxide means you're pushing oxygen into the cells. So think joints, brain, pre-workout, post-workout, our vascular system that needs oxygen. So those diseases where people's hands and toes go white in the cold, that can be addressed with our Active. It can be addressed with all of our, just in general, getting gut health in too. So think of that kind of thing. My encouragement to you is just really ingrain in your brain and really ingrain in your new joins brains that these products are not a quick fix, and nothing that's promoted out in the world that says, oh, you'll lose, you'll do this. Like it's cannot be good for you if it really does produce a quick result. What I always remind people of is that you will notice changes right away with Plexus. You'll notice changes, but you aren't going to solve all of your 20 years of health issues in 3 days or a month, or maybe not even in 3 months. It can take a lot of time. My toes used to burn. I had neuropathy from my RA, and it took a long time for that to go away, but I don't have it anymore. Okay. So just remember that our body healing from the inside out takes time. Do not expect quick fixes, and make sure that your new people joining in know that it's not a quick fix. And that's why we have the customer care. Shelly did that team call a few weeks ago. It feels like a few weeks, maybe it was a couple months ago. But Shelly went over this whole customer care, okay? And the reason that that's there and available to you is because that information, as you're helping your new people get that trickled to them over time, helps them have the understanding and belief and knowledge of these products too, okay? The other thing that you can do, especially if you're first getting started, and you can encourage your new people to do this as well, is just read through Gut Health and Happiness. Set a timer for 3 or 4 minutes and just read through that information or search in there. But there's so much information in our Gut Health, Happiness, and Beyond private group, right? That it's going to help build your belief in the products. It's going to help you learn more about them. How many times do we hear, well, I would share, but I need to know about the products more. I need to know more about the products. Well, that's not realistic. It just isn't. We have so many products and there's so many ingredients that you're never going to memorize all of that in like a couple days. It's really important to say, you know what, that is really important to you. This is what you can do. Like, here's the product info sheets. Here's the Go app. Go to Gut Health and Happiness and read through, but not hardly any people care what's in stuff. They don't care about all of that. They just want to know if it's going to work for them. So that shouldn't stop you from sharing. It's something you can learn as you go. Okay. So there's a really great way to build your belief, help your new people build belief, is just reading through Gut Health and Happiness. Of course, you're still going to tag them and pertinent information to them. That's very important. Don't slack off on that. But I'm saying it's something that you can do in addition, and encouraging them to search. Do you know how to search? You know, if the new person is someone who wants all this information, encouraging them to search in there, and then making sure you're asking lots of questions, not only of your sponsor, but also of your new joins, asking those questions over and over. Tell me how many ProBio 5 you're taking. And I have found I can ask one question. I have to say, okay, tell me about your current dosages. Oh, they're the same. And then I read up, I'm like, okay, it says a week ago you took 1 ProBio 5 every night. Are you still only taking 1 ProBio 5 every night? Oh yes, I'm only, okay, we have a discussion about that. You were also only taking 2 BioCleanse. How many BioCleanse are you taking? You know, you have to kind of get through that process with your new people for a while until you get the full answer, and then you can help adjust those dosages. Do not be afraid to go up in ProBio and BioCleanse. Don't be afraid. And ease, you're not going to take too much ease. You're not going to take too much ProBio. The only thing that happens if you take too much BioCleanse is you're going to have someone going to the bathroom more. And the true dosage of magnesium should be to bowel tolerance. Okay. So remember that, like, we want to have 2 to 4 bowel movements a day. And yeah, so that's what I had to remind you of, what I wanted to touch on. But check out those videos I made, because there's so much more detailed information, especially if you like the detail. But really great to just pick up other uses for our products that can really help your people. And that's why we have perks points to help them try those new products and stuff like that too. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much. And I am so sorry. I don't remember who's going after me. So whoever, oh, it's Rochelle. She unmuted. My friend Rochelle, we went to PT school together. So you're going to love hearing from her too.
So good, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. Hey, everyone. I'm Rochelle Furman. I'm a senior Ruby, and I'm going to speak a little bit on my business testimony. So about 3 years ago, I was having some health issues that I wanted a natural healing process to correct instead of just throwing medication at it. I also needed help financially, having gone through a divorce with young kids, been a single mom for a bit, and then blended family with 5 kids. And at the time, my college was right around the corner for my 2 kids coming up. And I knew as a PT, I was capped out at my pay grade, and having a 2% raise each year was not covering the cost of increase in medical premiums, much less the inflammation. And like I said, college for kids and all the things that come with it. So I spent about a year researching and talking to friends and other MLMs, learning about compensation plans and the company. And at the same time, I was keeping an eye on Elizabeth and Jackie, my 2 friends from PT school. They were earning an income with Plexus, they were earning trips with Plexus, and they were being able to stay home with their children, have more time with their family, and give more to their community. I also saw them improving their health naturally with the products, which I so desperately needed at the time. So I reached out to them and asked some questions, and very quickly I realized that this was a place I needed to be that would make a difference in my life and also other people's lives as well. So as soon as I hung up the phone with them, I think I signed up without them really knowing I was signing up, and then texted them the next day and told them, hey, look, I signed up last night, I'm all in, let's do this. So I put my first post up and had people joining me before my products even arrived. Jackie and Elizabeth worked with me continuously, and they continue to work with me, teaching me all the systems I need to grow and become successful. They helped me work through some mindset issues, grow my leadership lid, and allowed me to achieve things I never thought I really could. I am now able to use my Plexus income to pay for my kids' college, which is such a huge blessing. And I'm working towards replacing my full-time physical therapy income so I can have more time with my grown kids, focus on my own health a little bit more, and give more to my community. The being able to spend more time with my grown kids is huge. I do not want to have to ask permission from work to go see my children. I want to be able to go see them when I want to see them. I miss enough of their youth working full time, and I want to see my kids when I want to see them. I also want to feel valued for the work I do, which doesn't always come in the healthcare field. Plexus values you as a person, as an ambassador, and as a member of this amazing community. My husband of 10 years and I actually just went on our first vacation, kid-free, completely free because of Plexus. We had the most amazing time, and we could not even tell if it was because it was a Plexus vacation or if it was because we didn't have the kids with us. But the most rewarding part about growing my Plexus business is helping other people achieve their dreams. I've been able to help young mamas earn an income while staying home with their babies, an option that I was not able to have, but so wish I did. I'm able to develop and grow leaders and help them grow to reach their full potential. I am making a difference not only in the health of others, but also in their finances, which in so many cases is needed so much more. I have learned to dream bigger, play bigger, and help bigger. This business has truly changed my life and my family's lives and those that we are helping. So now, thank you all for listening. We are going to hear from somebody I look up to and gain inspiration from, Emerald Ambassador Leah Pearson.
Thank you. I love your story. I haven't heard all of that before. My name's Leah. I get to chat with you guys tonight about silver development. And silver development is so important for your business, not only for growth, but also for retention. You need to have a baseline goal of developing at least one new silver every single month, and you should be teaching your leaders to do the same. So I'm going to start out by asking you kind of a weird question here, but this analogy has stuck in my brain since I first heard it, and it's been so helpful for me, and I promise it's going to help you too in how to remember how to effectively develop silvers. So the question is this: how do you cook a frog? You cannot get a pot of water to a roaring boil and then throw a frog in there and expect it to sit and get cooked. But if you have a pot of water and then you place a frog in it and then slowly turn up the heat on the frog, it's not going to notice and it's going to stay in the pot and cook to death, which sounds weird. But I use this frog analogy for every single person that's coming in, whether they say they want to be a diamond ambassador and they're all in with the business, or if they're a new customer that is starting for their products. And so when I'm talking about this frog analogy and turning up the heat gradually, what I really mean is helping people take steps forward into sharing and then continuing to move them forward and turn up the heat as they tolerate. So some practical steps as far as what that looks like. First of all, I start out by getting every single person on the phone for their initial sign up, and I always bring up sharing on that initial phone call. In regards to bringing up sharing, I do this in a variety of ways, kind of depending on the conversation, because really I just don't want to be weird. I want it to flow in the conversation depending on how that conversation goes. So honestly, how I started out is I just kept a list of ways in front of me of ways I could bring it up. And then I'd make it a goal of bringing up, that in at least one way. So you don't have to bring all of them up on the phone, but just pick one and always have the goal of getting everyone on the phone and then talk to them about getting started with sharing. One easy way to bring up sharing right away is by bringing up the benefits of an accountability partner. So I always say, studies show that you're 86% more likely to be successful if you have an accountability partner. Who would you love to have do this with you? Another one, when you're talking about them being a VIP customer, you can talk about how they have a referral link and then give them a dollar range. You could earn $305 to $500 this month if you share with a few friends. Would you be open to hearing more? Or also talking to them, like when you're talking about that referral link, you could get the cost of your products completely covered. However, that kind of comes up and flows. I often ask people for a first post. So would you be willing to put up a first post and just say, hey, I'm starting this journey. Does anyone want to do this with me? And then give them that sample post, monitor it, coach them to open chats with anyone who liked it or commented on it, and then help close people. I also bring up the business opportunity quite often on that initial call. And one super easy way that I do that is I will ask people what they do for work and if they like it. And a lot of times it is negative. And so then I will just ask them simple questions like, have you ever thought about doing something like this? Or, man, that sounds tough. If you could spend your days however you wanted, what would that look like for you? And then just listen to their heart and then share the opportunity. Or you could also just say, hey, I know we've talked about the products, but I want to let you know that there's an incredible business opportunity available with Plexus as well. Do you have any financial goals? And then just kind of go from there. Another option with sharing on the phone, and again, you don't have to, say all of these, but pick at least one and commit to it, bringing up at least one, talking about a wellness event. And how I like to ask for the wellness event is I will say, okay, for our next step, most people host a wellness event so they can continue to learn a little bit more about the products. And then they can also invite their friends and family as well so that they can see if this is something that they would benefit from. Does Tuesday or Thursday night work for you? So assuming that they're going to do it and giving them a couple times. Oftentimes, if they do maybe shoot one of these down, I will revert to another one. I think a big key with silver development is not giving up on people, not in a pushy way, but sometimes reframing or giving a different option works great, whether it's right then or even down the road. So for instance, if they're not open to posting, one thing that I revert to a lot of times, I'll say, hey, would you be open to hosting a wellness event? It's a private setting where you can invite some close friends and family, because some people are like, oh, I just want to keep it private, so you can still get them sharing in a private setting by inviting their friends and family. Or maybe you ask if they wanted to do the wellness event and they are just so busy this week and it's completely out of the question. Hey, I understand. Would you be open to putting up a post if I give you a sample to see if there's anyone that would like to do this with you? So keep it in the back of your mind to ask again in a different way, or maybe do another call to action again down the road. That's what we're doing, is encouraging people to take action. So after that initial exposure to sharing on the phone, you might need to handle some objections. So pull your sponsor in on that. I don't have time to go into details in regards to that, but this is when we start turning up the heat according to what they tolerate. And the ultimate goal is to keep the frog in the pot. Don't scare them off, don't overwhelm them, but keep dripping the exposure of sharing in a variety of ways and getting them to step forward. So keep turning up the heat by getting them to take action and then read their response. So if they do it quickly, give them another action step. If they don't take action, don't keep turning up the heat and throwing more at them. Read them and then adjust accordingly. But the key is to watch their feet and not their mouth, meaning what are they stepping forward and doing, not what are they saying? Because, some people will, for instance, say they're going to put up a post and then they don't. So you have to look at where they're actually taking action. And if their feet are moving, then give them another step. Don't overwhelm them. So some ways to turn up the heat or encourage them to take action. We covered getting on the phone with everyone for that initial sign up and bring up sharing every single time. Any of those things that I listed, you can bring up again down the road, rephrase, reframe, ask again. So for instance, if you ask them to post on the phone and it was a big no, once I will ask them to post again. So one way that I do that is when their products arrive, I'll say, hey, send me a selfie when you mix up your pink drink. And then when they do, oh my goodness, that's such a cute picture. If I gave you a sample post, would you post that? Like just really basic stuff like that. The wellness event, if you did not ask for the wellness event on the phone, bring that up like once they get into their products, revisit that. And ask down the road at some point. Otherwise, another way to utilize a wellness event, if they shot it down initially, invite them to attend one that you're hosting. And if they agree, see if they'll bring a friend along. Another way to step them forward, if they're expressing interest or openness to sharing, have them make a list. That's always a great starting point. Make a list by, maybe 10-ish friends, and then give them one basic sample message. Don't throw a ton at them, but a sample message, and ask them to reach out to the first 3 people on that list. Again, watch them. If they complete it quickly, turn up the heat and ask them to reach out to 3 more or 5 more. Have them expand that list and then keep going depending on their response. Another thing you can do is you could tag them on the 5 Steps to Silver video series. That's a great one that walks them through a ton of great info. So the key to get them in action with posting, reaching out, plugging them into wellness events, that's kind of your key. And then you make sure that you take the lead with 3-way chats, help them close people, wash, rinse, repeat, and get them victories. A huge key with this is to not give up on people. If they get a +1 for turning up the heat, then you need to be turning up the heat and then encourage them and always be looking for opportunities. Your job is to look for opportunities to have them step forward and share. These opportunities could include, and not all inclusive, but just a couple. If they get a health victory, ask them to post. Even if you ask them before, re-invite them to share. You should post about that. That would encourage so many people to hear that you're sleeping through the night. That is huge. Invite them to have a friend join them if you're hosting a messenger event or a pink drink challenge. Invite them to any kind of event, including business events, in-person events, any kind of stuff like that. And then keeping track of your people. So if they have 1 to 2 joins, know that and say, hey, if you had 2 more friends start with you on this journey, you would get an extra $200 cash or whatever it is for that month, depending on the bonuses. Like, that's a big deal. Who else would you love have do this with you? And then the last thing that I wanted to mention too, schedule welcome calls with your sponsor for every join coming in. So my sponsor, Jamie, and I did a team call on this in Pink Power. If you want to hear more about why this is a powerful duplication tool, what we say on those calls, all of that. The video is called The How and Why of 3-Way Calls. If you want more business conversations and business builders, this is a great way to do that and find the gold within your new customers that are coming in. So highly, highly recommend always doing welcome calls. And then I have a couple action steps for you. Go into your back office and offer every single one of your level 1s a wellness event if you have not already. You can go into Pink Power Launch Party. There's sample verbiage on how to ask. I kind of talked a little bit about that. But then there's event templates too. And then number 2, look into your back office and see who does have the 1 to 2 joins and has never went silver. Reach out to them by tomorrow and ask them to host an event, post, or take some kind of action moving forward. And then number 3, I really encourage you to look at your last 6 months of 2023. I did this with my team at the beginning of the year, and it was very eye-opening. Look at your last 6 months. How many silvers did you develop each month? Like, what was your average? Or when was the last time that you did develop a silver? And connect with your sponsor and share your findings with that and put your heads together as far as how you can move forward. And hopefully that'll be eye-opening for you and you can start applying some of the things that I shared tonight. So keep turning up the heat, keep stepping people forward. Don't give up on people. Ask again. Those are my main tips for you. Next up, we have Amanda Van Lett. She's amazing, and she's going to share her business testimony.
Oh, thank you, Leah. Everything you said was amazing. I appreciate that so much. Hello, beautiful team. When I was asked to share my story, I had so many thoughts running through my head. I started and stopped so many times. So I just want you to know I am not even going to be able to skim the surface of how amazing this opportunity and this business and this community have been for me and for my family, and that they are for you. So my husband and I started the products for health reasons, and we were really happy with them. We knew we wanted to keep taking them. And so I worked up to Senior Silver Plus in order to have no supplement cost and to have these amazing products to take kind of guilt-free, I guess, as you're raising a large family. And I saw the opportunity. I was happy at Senior Silver Plus, right? I saw the opportunity and I knew it could be amazing for somebody. Like, I didn't even really picture myself as that somebody. So don't do that, for one thing. I knew that I was building a wall. And if you can relate to this, that wall was fear, self-doubt, and just not being open to opening myself up in order to keep myself protected, because I feel like I was going to get hurt in some way, right? So that's what it was. It was a big wall. And I know that daily I still have to break this down. So it doesn't happen overnight, but So then I was happy there, but I had this wall around me towards the business opportunity. And then COVID hit. And I just finally, like, it sank in deeply that people need these products. People need them. They need what we have. So it took a worldwide pandemic, people, for me to get over myself and to start sharing and to start educating people and to start opening up myself to be that gateway for them to find hope and happiness and health. So it's amazing what God can do when that wall gets destroyed and how many amazing opportunities he sets in your pathway because you chose to get over that wall. Okay. So I started listening. I started listening to those promptings like, ooh, that would make a good post, or oh, that person needs this stuff, you know? So I started sharing again, and people were listening, and people took advantage of what I was putting out there, I guess. And by the grace of God, I was able to grow to Ruby so far. Um, but the other parts of this, you guys, the friends that have come into my life because of this opportunity are amazing. I want to list them all, but I have like a minute left. So like Amanda and Ray and Emmy, Asia and Shelly and Carrie and Carla and Michelle and Amy and anybody else on my team, all of you are amazing. We call ourselves the Hope Sharers because that's our heart. It's our heart to share what has given us so much hope and healing. The travel has been amazing. Never would I think as a mama of 9 that I could fly away and get on a cruise ship in the middle of like Thanksgiving, like it was insane. Um, and now to be planning another fun trip, all because this company does value its people, like Rochelle said. And um, there are ways that you can work hard and find all of these fun things to go do with your team. Um, and then the biggest thing for us, of course, has been the financial impact it has had on our family. The relief that I see in my husband's shoulders um, is priceless. And it's something that I'm going to keep working for um, because it's amazing. It's amazing for me as a homeschooling mama. I had other options. I could have gone back to work as an RN. I almost I studied for my real estate license, but all of that was going to take me away from my family. So not only do we have these amazing products, but we have this amazing opportunity that comes with it if you want it, and you do. You just have to build down that wall. The Lord has told us that He has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind. And all of that is wrapped up in this team, in this place. So break down that wall and ask yourself, why not me?
Thank you, Amanda. Oh my goodness. I just love your big heart so much. It's okay. Don't be sorry. It was so good. I'm going to try not to cry. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Okay, you guys. So this has been so good so far. My name is Sally Boss. I'm a Diamond Ruby ambassador, and I'm going to chat a little bit on my portion tonight about biz builders and what you're maybe looking for in a biz builder. Okay. So some keywords that I think come to mind when looking for a business builder: they're hardworking, they're goal oriented, they're caring, they're driven. Now, Leah gave some great tips on getting people on the phone, okay, and bringing up the business right away. And we should always do that, always plant that seed for that. Okay, you guys. So when you enroll somebody, and maybe you've mentioned the business, maybe you haven't, but I always take it as a good sign right away if they engage. Okay. If they start being active in the team page, if they are commenting on stuff in the team page and welcoming people, if they're excited and want to learn more right away, right? They're asking for stuff, they're asking questions. If they're good communicators, that's a good sign. So if you haven't mentioned the business, and you're noticing things about them like this, then you need to be bringing up the business. But you need to bring up the business always, no matter what, whether you see these things in someone or not. But if you're seeing those things, that's a really good sign, okay? Somebody who's a self-starter, right? Like they watch all the videos you send them and they ask for more. They're hungry. And you can feel that hunger, and they want to learn more about how they can make money, how they're, how they can pay for groceries or gas or college, like Rochelle said, whatever. And they're not afraid to maybe post on their socials. Okay. Like Amanda mentioned fear, and I had a fear of that too. And sometimes we are afraid, right? But maybe some people really aren't afraid. They're like, sure, I'll post it. I've had people like that a lot. So that's really good. Generally, they're positive people, okay? And you can tell this, checking out their socials. You can gauge what they're like on their socials. If they avoid conflict and negativity, right? Typically, they're positive people, and they're also coachable, right? And they do what you ask them to do, okay? They're willing to learn new skills. They aren't afraid. They have dreams and goals, and they're driven, and they have a desire to help other people. Now, this is like the perfect business builder, right? That I just described here. So you want to keep in, oh, can you mute? Oh, thank you. Okay, so the one thing I want you guys to keep in mind though, after I listed all that, is that business builders are not necessarily born that way, right? They're created. Okay. I did not possess some of those qualities that I just listed when I started. I needed to grow and I needed to learn as I went. Okay. But I was willing to do that because I had vision casted for me and I saw what could be. And so I was willing to kind of push through hard and learn those things to be, successful. So don't necessarily count people out if they aren't all of these things or some of these things right away. Okay. A lot of these skills can be developed and they will be developed by your leadership. All right. But they should possess some of these qualities and be hungry. Okay. And you'll be able to see that potential in them. All right. So I want to chat quick a little bit about posture and what that should look like and why that's important. Okay, so when I say the word posture, the first thing that pops into my mind is I need to sit up straight, right? I need to sit up straighter and correct my back because my posture I have a tendency to just slump over, right? So a lot of times that's how we view posture, all right? But I want to talk about posture in the sense of confidence. And in order to cast big vision and to get people to join you and to get them excited about doing the business, you have to check your posture and your confidence, okay? And you also need to have a really big vision for yourself. So, what are you doing to work on your own mindset when it comes to dreaming big and having a vision for your own life and your own business? What is your posture like in your own mind? Okay, where is your mindset there? And if you're unsure that you can do this, then that's going to be trickled down to your team members, right? And people will feel that. Okay. So think about that. When you are talking to someone about the business, what is your tone of voice? What is your posture? How do you sound? Are you confident? Are you excited? That needs to happen, okay? Because people catch that. People will grasp onto that. If you tell them where you're going, they're going to believe you and they're going to want to go with you. If they sense any doubt in your voice or your mindset, they will believe you in that aspect too, okay? Don't be afraid to tell them what you see in them. Okay? I would do that with my people all the time. When we were going up through the ranks and I was excited and I saw potential in them, I would call it out. Okay? If you have somebody just starting and she comes on or he, and you are like seeing some good qualities, maybe that I mentioned, don't be afraid to call those out. Share what's possible for them. Okay. You can say things like, you know what, you connect so well with your audience on socials. I am so impressed. Have you ever thought about doing something like this? You are so kind. I love your caring heart. I think that you would be amazing, you know, in this business. Are you open to a conversation about it? Call it out. Okay. Don't be afraid to do that. And, you know, when you're casting vision and maybe you don't have a huge business testimony yet, you guys, that's okay. That's okay. Because I didn't either at one point, right? We all have to go through that, but I can borrow someone else's, right? I borrowed my diamond uplines. I borrowed my friends. And you can share that and you can be excited and enthusiastic about that at the same time. Like I remember Tiffany and Fallon, they were what, golds or senior golds or something like that. And they told Jamie, we're going to the top. Are you going to come with us? We want you to come with us. And Jamie believed them because of their excitement and their passion to do that, right? And now look at them. Okay. So at Super Saturday, I was going to have everybody take a minute to list the qualities that you're looking for in a business builder. Okay. Who would you want to work with every day? Think about that, okay? And I did do another video too that Jamie's gonna have, and I listed this stuff too, so you can rewatch it. But who would you want to work with every day? Think about that. What's important to you, okay? Look for those people. And then I was gonna have you think about this. In your circle, in your community, in your network, who comes to your mind right away as a dream teamer? Somebody that you would love to have on your team and you know would kill this business, okay? I know that we all have those people in our life. And you got to think big sometimes, okay? But we all have people, 5 to 10 people. I was going to challenge you, 5 to 10 names of people that you want on your team, that are a dream teamer, right? Maybe like on your chicken list that it's scary to reach out to, okay? And I was going to have you reach out to them right that day. Okay, we were going to do it. So I want to challenge you guys to do that. We all have those people in our life that we know would be amazing at this. And it's scary, yes, but we go for those no's. We want those no's. Okay, so have you reached out to them? And if you haven't, let's do it. Okay. And so I have some sample verbiage. I'll just quick read them off, but they're also in the video. But hey, Sarah, I've been dying to reach out to you, but if I'm being honest, I've been a little chicken. I just admire what you stand for and think you really inspire people. Have you ever been approached about network marketing? I think you would do amazing. Would you be open to a conversation about it? Just something as simple as that. That's it. Okay. And I'll put this verbiage in the comments or the video or whatever too. But hey, Ashley, I've been loving your posts lately. The memes have me rolling. I know we've only just met virtually, but you're someone who I feel like I could be friends with in real life. You're so fun. I've been looking for a few new people to work with lately, and your name came to mind. Has anyone ever approached you about network marketing? Would you be open to a conversation about it? Simple as that, you guys. Okay. So I want you to get brave and I want you to message those people and be looking for those qualities, cast big vision. And that is all for me. I will pass it off to Jamie Haskin to wrap it up.
Thank you, Sal. All right, I'm last here, so stick with me and we will wrap this up. I am really excited to talk to you guys about Janelle opened this up with belief. And I'm going to piggyback off with Sal. We were planning on kind of doing this together on vision at the end here. So I'm piggybacking off of Sal here. But Janelle started with belief. And belief is super important because, like she said, we talk about it a lot, right? And it makes a big difference with what we do with this opportunity and even how we move forward. So I'm going to connect that with vision, because when we have belief in something, you know, what you believe to be true, what is possible, what could happen, that's kind of encompassing belief here. And belief doesn't mean that you necessarily have to know how it's going to all come together or when it's all going to happen, right? Just that it can. Okay. So now to articulate that belief into a destination, where are you going? How are you going to get there? It gives direction, it gives purpose, it creates change and has impact, right? That is all encompassing of your vision. A quote by Michael Hyatt says, if the vision is compelling enough, people will apply their best thinking and efforts to figure it out, regardless of obstacles and opposition. So that means vision creates the confidence to work hard, to figure it out, to expect the good to come out and not be put off by the hard things, right? Not running away from all the struggles, but running toward the struggles, running through them, figuring it out, right? Problem solving and learning and growing and knowing that on the other side of the obstacles and the opposition is success. And actually, I will even bring that a little closer and say that knowing that success is part of that process, right? It's not just a final destination, that success is on the other end. It's part of going through all that as part of the success, right? So vision doesn't stop at the hard things, the busyness of life, the demands of life, the no's, the missed goals, the missed ranks, the hard conversations, or even the mundane, the valleys. Because sometimes it's working through the hard things, but other times it's harnessing that vision to do the seemingly boring things, right? Vision and passion and purpose are all connected together. So if you truly lean into that, see beyond what other people see, right? You see beyond the boring, you see beyond the hard, and vision goes past all of that, knowing what's on the other side of that and working through it. So you are willing to do what others are not willing to do because you have the bigger vision, right? So first, how does this impact you personally? Do you have vision for this business, for where you're going? And is it compelling enough to help you through the hard that you're going to face? So I want you guys to take some time after this call and write out your vision and share it with your upline. How are you going to work differently with the vision that you have? So take some time to reflect on that. And then, when you have that in front of you, and I'm going to kind of answer your question a little bit, but I want you to reflect on that. How are you going to work differently? You're not going to let those downfalls define you. You're going to be strong. You're going to forgive yourself. You're going to find your strengths. You're going to work on your weaknesses. You're going to do the hard things. You're going to do the things that you've been avoiding. You're going to celebrate the good, and you're going to find the good in what you're doing every day. So where do you need to grow in order to strengthen your vision? Second part of this is, how does your vision impact other people? Because vision isn't just about you. It can't be. Having vision is far greater than one person, and you can't be successful in this business just focusing on yourself. It's not about that, right? So are you sharing your vision with others? Are you sharing your vision with your team? When you give people clear vision that you believe in, right? You have the ability to help them succeed, to strive forward. Remember, I'm going to repeat that quote from earlier. If the vision is compelling enough, people will apply their best thinking and efforts to figure it out, regardless of the obstacles and opposition. So are you gifting this to your people? Do they know what's possible, where they are going? Do they have direction? Do they have vision? Vision fuels the passion and the purpose, and it is truly a gift we can give people, right? It separates leaders from managers. So all of you on this call can be a leader. And I'm going to separate this a little bit right now. Some of you might be here, maybe a little more passively. Maybe you want to help a few friends. Maybe you want to make just a little bit of money. And that is fantastic. If you are here and that is you, we are so glad you're here and we love you for that. But I want to know who is here that wants to rank up and you want to go far in this business. I want you to comment. Do you want to go to the top? Is your goal diamond? Is your goal 5-star diamond? Do you have big goals in this business? If so, comment. Because I want to talk to you specifically about that. Because if that is you, then vision can, should, and must come from you. It can come from your upline too. It can also be a part of this team, this community, and this business, but it also has to come from you. So take ownership of that and take the time to reflect and think about how you are communicating your vision and belief to others on your team. Is it a part of the culture that you're creating? What I mean by that is it is something that is talked about frequently. It's talked about more than once. It's not just shared at the beginning when someone joins. It's shared throughout the process, right? Throughout the entire journey. So how do you do that? I'm going to say 3 ways in terms of sharing this with your team, right? So one is share your vision. When someone, you got a business builder in here, your team, the people you are working with, you're sharing with other people. Where are you guys going together? You're creating business builders. So what is the purpose of what you're asking them to do, right? You're asking them to post, you're asking them to reach out, you're asking them to do probably uncomfortable things at times, right? You're asking them to do hard things. You're asking them to add this into their schedule and make it a priority when they have other things they could fill their schedule with. So why? What's the purpose of that? What's the vision? Is it worth it to them, right? If you ask them to do something uncomfortable or add this into their already busy day without a what's in it for them, without a clear and compelling vision, then why would they even do it? Why would they not give up after their first rejection or if they just don't feel like doing it, right? Of course, they're going to stop. It makes sense for them to stop if there is not a reason, right? So are you communicating this with them? Is this something that is missing from your communication with your people? What do you see in them? Where are they going? Tell them. All right, number 2, make it a habit to point out their gifts. Empower them to lean into their strengths. What do you see in them that adds to the vision that you have for your team, for where you guys are all going? How are they a part of this specifically? It's a team thing. It's not just you, right? You're all rowing in the same direction. So think of you guys as working together and how do they contribute that you can call that out in them. And then the third thing is when they hit a wall or something is difficult and trying, remind them what is on the other side of that struggle. Things can be really, really hard, right? So when they're in that hard, relate to them, normalize it, acknowledge it, connect with them on it, but don't stay there with them. They don't need someone to stay in that pit and wallow with them. That's not what they need. They need you to be someone that's going to give them vision for what's beyond that, to empower them to move through it and eventually learn and grow because of it. So take some time to articulate what your vision actually is. I'm going to give you 3 things to do. 1, write out your vision statement. So for example, I'll give you an example that we used last Ruby retreat, and we shared this there, the specific statement. So I'm just going to read that to you guys. We are building a team of driven, strong, passionate people who strive to offer hope, health, and happiness to others who desperately need it, who will rise in leadership while pursuing excellence and integrity as we fill out our purpose and create freedom, to create the freedom we strive for ourselves and for our families. So a resource in terms of creating a vision statement, in terms of more details on what that could look like and sharing it with others, would be A Vision-Driven Leader by Michael Hyatt. It is a book, fantastic, and has a lot of very specifics. So that is a resource there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be eloquent. It doesn't have to whatever. It's simply a direction, a purpose, and compelling. It's something that you are excited about in terms of moving forward and you're sharing with other people, okay? Number 2, share this with your upline and your downline. And then number 3, ask these questions. What areas can you grow in to strengthen your vision in leadership? How can you intentionally use your vision to impact how you work your business? And then how can you intentionally use your vision to impact how you lead others? And then a couple other resources if you want to dive more into this. There's a couple videos on my YouTube. One is from Ruby Retreat last time with me and Christina Williams. It's titled Having a Legacy Vision. Sorry, I'm muting again here. Someone is not. Okay, I can't mute them, so hopefully it stays quiet. Okay, and then the second one is a vision-driven leader team call I had on my YouTube as well. So, all right, wrapping this up, you guys. Thank you to everyone who led tonight. All of the things that you heard, you guys, the testimonies, the building belief, the product belief in education, creating silver, sharing this business with other people, all of it adds together and contributes towards your vision, your purpose, what we're doing here. I hope you guys had amazing takeaways from this. And I want to encourage you guys to write down 3 things that you learned right away after this team call. 3 things from this whole call, either what you learned or what you can grow in, and then just apply 1 within the next 24 hours. You can do more after that, but just pick 1 thing to apply in the next 24 hours and start taking action. So thank you all for joining us tonight, and we hope you have a fantastic evening.